Okay, so this is the preview of the lab assignment 7, which is due next Friday, because next week on Wednesday, you will have the SPSS practice exam that will be practicing your SPSS knowledge. So you are using SPSS program in the virtual lab program and try to practice to perform your hypothesis testing using Z-score, t-test, and repeated independent sample t-test, and also ANOVA we learned today. So that will be kind of practice using the SPSS program. So now you have the many questions of using ANOVA. So the first question here, that's about ANOVA here. Answer for the questions of ANOVA. So first question is what kind of variables could be independent variable ANOVA? I covered that for ANOVA as independent variable, you can use categorical variable having more than three, including or more than three categories. For example, the degree variable, the race variable, political orientation, or religion. You can use many types of variables as your independent variable. So you can choose one variable by using the SPSS program and searching your variable, and you can check the frequency of each variable in your choose. You can choose anyone. You can choose any variable as your independent variable as long as these are or that one is categorical variable having more than or including three categories. And also dependent variable of ANOVA that should be metric variable. And you can choose one variable. You can choose one variable as your independent variable of ANOVA. Then you can create a frequency table of that variable. For example, if you chose one categorical variable, degree or religion or any kind of variable, you can attach that frequency table. So I believe you know how to create the frequency table. So you can attach that here, or maybe using the screenshot or any kind of the copy method you can use. You can attach here so that I can review your frequency table, whether you chose that one right or not. And also, one variable is dependent variable. It should be metric variable. It must be metric variable because you are comparing the mean of those variables. So that will be the choice here. And what is the null and alternative hypothesis? So you learned that what is the null hypothesis in ANOVA and alternative hypothesis in ANOVA. So null is there is no differences in mean of those groups, or the mean of those groups are identical. So you can manipulate your null hypothesis based on the information of your variable. So that will be based on your choice of variables. And alternative hypothesis is that at least one group of your independent variable, at least one group has different mean in your metric variable like that. So based on your independent and dependent variable, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis will be different from each other. So that will be the answer of the question number 1. Question number 2, perform hypothesis testing using two variables below. So you will need to use SPSS program. So open SPSS program using the virtual lab program and then try to search those variables. Using degree variable as your independent variable and HRS1 as your dependent variable. So by checking the frequency table or variable information, you can know what degree variable is and what HRS1 variable is. And you can state null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis as we learned so far. So that's it. And that is the degrees of freedom and finding the critical area. You may remember that, and maybe you can review my lecture note of the ANOVA yesterday, I mean in Tuesday, or Thursday I will cover more tomorrow, but you can see J-1, which is number of groups in the independent variable minus 1, that is degrees of freedom between. Degrees of freedom within is the number of the valid cases. So maybe you can check the frequency of all your independent variable, dependent variable, and then try to search. And after finding that information, you can know what the critical value is. So you can change that, you can find that. And critical area based on the degrees of freedom, and by checking the table, F table, you can check in the alpha level based on alpha level. So I told you that we are using alpha level as 0.05, so you can always use 0.05 if I don't specify anything. So you can find the critical area based on the choose, right? And then run ANOVA test using SPSS program. So go to the compare means and use the one-way ANOVA and use the degree variable as the factor variable, which is the grouping variable, independent variable, and then use HRS1 as dependent variable. Attach the result table. So there are two tables in there, descriptive and ANOVA, and attach those tables below in here. And based on the information of the table, usually based on the p-value, if that is over 0.05, you fail to reject the null hypothesis. If your p-value is below 0.05, you can reject the null hypothesis. So based on the result you found, please add your result here. Please add your conclusion, whether reject the null or fail to reject the null. That's the answer here. So manual calculation based on using those information. Your grouping variable is the class, and these values are your on the income data. You can use Excel program. You don't need to use SPSS program for question number 3. Use Excel program and fill out this table. So within total, DF, MS, and FN critical. Based on using the degrees of freedom and those information, you can calculate, and you can calculate all things here. So as you did in class practice yesterday, I mean the Tuesday, and tomorrow, you will be able to find more or better idea on that. So attach your Excel file used for this calculation, and then so along with this Word file, you can attach your Excel file in your submission of the assignment by next Friday. One hint is that I already uploaded the Excel files, so 3 Excel files, right? So 2 Excel files in class assignment, in class practice 1 and in class practice 2, they all have the right answers. So you will be able to know, and maybe just copying these tables in the Excel, and maybe you can replicate what I did in the right answer and answer key. So that is the hint you can do. And also, what is your research topic? What is the research topic you have in paper? This, right? So what is your topic in the paper? Sorry about that. I'll fix it up. So using SPSS program, you will need to search some variables. I want to know the most updated one. So most updated your topic. So what will be your research topic, such as degree and income, maybe association between degree of income, maybe that could be your topic. And please let me know what is your topic so far. And then what kind of variables. You can choose one independent variable, and you can choose one dependent variable, and attach the frequency table so that I can know what is your recent choice of those variables. And then I can see your choices, and I can see what are possible methods. So this is the following question. Which analytic method can be used for your final paper? Based on the use of your independent variable, you can choose what will be the method you will use for your final paper. So for example, if you have the binary or the dichotomous independent variable having 2 groups, and if you have the dependent variable as continuous variable, you can use t-test, probably independent sample t-test. Or if you have a categorical independent variable, but it has more than and including 3 categories, and if you have the dependent variable as a metric variable, you can use ANOVA. Or if you have a categorical independent variable and also categorical dependent variable, you will be able to use the chi-square test. So that will be covered after next week, maybe you can specify that which kind of a scenario or which kind of method you can use later. Okay, so this is the very preliminary review or preview of the lab assignment 6 or 7. Oh, no, it's 7. Level 7, and let me know if you have any questions on that. Thank you very much, and see you in next video.